All power to the people, brother. I see you. All power. So recently, there's been a lot of propaganda flowing through the city of Newark as to the new African Black Panther Party and our relationship to Ras Baraka and the mayor's meeting. I'm not here to talk about that. I'm here specifically to thank our friends. To thank our friends across the city of Newark. From garbage truck workers, to teachers, to pastors, to elements and street tribe organizations, to our friends across the city of Newark that came to the back of the new African Black Panther Party because we simply asked a question and we have come under vicious repression. Ask yourselves, brothers and sisters. All power to the people, soldier. I see you. All power. Ask yourselves, brothers and sisters. What would you do if it was your brother, your mother, your nephew, your niece that came under threat? In fact, a hit was put out on your relative. Would you stand up? Especially if that hit, that organized, deliberate attempt by the mayor of Newark to have our comrade murdered in the streets. In the streets. This is what the mayor of Newark called for. That our comrade should be murdered. And we showed the videos. We showed the evidence. So the question is to all of you, what would you do if your brother and sister, your mother, came under that kind of vicious repression from the state? Don't tell me we are wrong for holding the mayor accountable for that kind of nasty rhetoric. The rhetoric that would get a person killed and murdered in these streets. So I want to thank the brothers and sisters, the teachers, the lawyers, the pastors, the street groups that have supported us and will continue to support us. Because this is not a fight against Ras. This is a fight against oppression, exploitation. This is a fight against neocolonialism. This is a fight against whether we're going to move in the direction of becoming one with the enemy system or we're going to establish some dignity for black people. When are we going to stand up and say we don't need the enemy white power structure to give us food? We don't need them to give us clothing. We don't need them to give us anything because all of the resources is in the black community. Every other group across the country relies on themselves. They build their own schools. They build their own religious institutions. They build their own cultural institutions. They feed one another. They clothe one another. And they defend one another. But when it comes down to black people here in America, we can't even do none of that because we're still considered the slaves. And then you got black political leaders in power. Black political leaders in power that emerged, brothers and sisters, out of the civil rights movement, that emerged out of the black power movement. They are empowering our communities right now. And they are utilizing the same tactics that Idi Amin used in Africa. The same tactics that Papa Doc Dubayue used in Haiti. They're trying to crush our movement. But one thing for certain, two things sure. The people came to our aid. That's what this is for. This is for all of you brothers and sisters who said no. The mayor, we don't care if he's black, white, Latino, Asian, or Native American, do not have the right to order a hit on a citizen simply because he was questioned about housing or because he had a prior relationship with Africa and his animus there. Still, the mayor must conduct himself as an adult. He must conduct himself as a role model on the hill for which others can look and emulate. The mayor should not stoop down to the level of a gangster. How you going to employ gangster tactics against another revolutionary organization when you came out of this movement in the Black Neo Force? You experienced the same thing that you're trying to level against us. Brothers and sisters, I'm not a murderer. I'm not a murderer. And that's why I'm having this press conference. Because the teachers, the academics, Ras Baraka had a meeting with journalists and academics, unbeknownst to us. And one thing Ras did underestimated is that we had friends in that meeting. We had journalists in that meeting that supported us. So they leaked the transcripts. I have both of them. One is calling me a murderer. This is what they said. And I don't have it before me, but I could give you a verbatim. They said that Shaka Zulu just got out of prison. This is Ras talking to the journalists, to the academics. This is Ras Baraka. Listen to me, brothers and sisters. Listen now. This is your mayor. This is your mayor. This is your mayor saying this about me, a citizen. Listen what I'm saying, brothers and sisters, a so-called citizen of Newark. And because I have a different perspective, and because I have a different idea of how black liberation should go about, I'm called a murderer. Check it out. So they said to the journalists, to the academics, Shaka Zulu just was released from prison after serving 20 years for committing murder. Let me say that again so the brothers can understand what I'm saying here. Ras Baraka told journalists, academics, in a secret meeting, the transcripts from which I have was leaked to me. He said that Shaka Zulu was just released from prison after serving 20 years for murder. Now, brothers and sisters, one thing he underestimated was technology. One thing he underestimated was that I'm an open book. Everything about me is on social media. So all you have to do is Google Shaka Zulu versus the state of New Jersey. You will see all my charges. You will see all of my political writings. You will see my essays. You will see my radio commentary. All the stuff that I did while I was in prison. And finally, you will see my charges. I was not arrested for murder. And shame on you, Ras Baraka, for lying to the journalists, lying to the academics. You know what I was arrested for, brothers and sisters? Stealing a North Face coat. Stealing a North Face coat. I'm going to say that one more time. Stealing a North Face coat. And that got me 50 years in prison. 50 years in prison. So I was locked up for 15 minutes of foolishness. Foolishness. So no, I am not a murderer. And I want to thank some of the comrades that are within Ras Baraka's administration. I'm not going to name who they are, but thank you for leaking those transcripts to me. Because if anything happens to any member of the new African Black Panther Party, the weight falls on the mayor of Newark, New Jersey, Ras Baraka. And we had the transcripts where he called for the murder of Comrade Africa. So FBI, don't watch me. New Jersey State Troopers, don't watch me. Newark Police, don't watch me. Because everything we have done since I came home from prison in January the 7th of 2019 have been legal and above board. We don't sell drugs. We don't carry guns. We don't prostitute our women. We don't extort brothers and sisters for money. We don't beg NGOs and nonprofits to give us credibility. And certainly we have never went hat in hand to Ras Baraka asking him for a handout. Everything we have done has been by the grace and support of the people in the community. Let me tell you what George Jackson said one time, brothers and sisters. He said that, excuse me, I see you, brother, all power to the people. I see you. Let me tell you what George Jackson said. George Jackson said about these black neo-colonial leaders. He said that they have two instruments to discredit the true revolutionary, like the cultural nationalists that was a part of Milana Karenga's group. Ron Karenga, the snitch. Ron Karenga, the murderer who pulled the trigger, killing Bunchy Carter. Ron Karenga, the murderer who killed John Huggins. The murderer who Ron Karenga, who killed Steve Bartholomew in San Diego. Ras Baraka comes out of that cultural nationalist tradition. His father was a cultural nationalist. But there were Black Panthers at that time too, brothers and sisters, right here in the city of Newark. Ask yourself this question. Why was the Black Panther Party office bombed in 1972 on Springfield Avenue? Why was the Black Panther Party office bombed on Springfield Avenue here in Newark? While all those other activists didn't come under any kind of attack. We lost Panthers to death because of what we embody today. We carried those traditions. We carried that. And that's why everybody is mad. Those who are part of the political elite class, they are upset because we have drawn a clear line in the sand. We have drawn a clear line in the sand between poor people and rich people, between blacks who are part of the white supremacist state and poor people who want to overturn and destroy that white supremacist state. We are on the side of the people, and that's what's protecting us. You can best believe if the people didn't support us across the country, they probably would have murdered us already. Or they probably would have ran us out of Newark like they did with other activists who was operating as individuals, trying to fight City Hall, trying to fight the power structure. All they had to do is take their job. All they had to do is visit their house with some goons. And that person was surrendered under the might of that intimidation. But not the Black Panther Party. We got comrades across the country. We got friends in Newark in the hundreds. We got them all. Street tribes, workers, religious people, family members. We want to thank all of you for coming to the aid of the new African Black Panther Party. Because we're here for you. We're not here to serve princes and principalities. We're not here to serve budding dictators. We're not here to serve budding authoritarians that come out of the civil rights movement who want to impose upon the people a silence around freedom of speech. We're not here to serve you, dictator, whether you're a black dictator or a white dictator or an Indian dictator or a Latino dictator. We're not here to serve you. We're here to serve the people. So do what you might, enemy state. Kill me. Kill my comrade. But history will absolve us. And history will hold you accountable, Ras Baraka. History will hold you accountable. Go ahead. We're not going anywhere. I live in the city of Newark. I have family and friends everywhere. I'm not running. And finally, let me say this. As Fidel Castro once said, in the July 26th movement where they were in the mountains. He said, anytime we capture someone connected to the enemy state, the Cuban enemy state, the Batista regime, we must give them political education and then release them back into the population. Anyone who's captured. My position is no one a part of the political structure, a part of Ras Baraka's administration, have to worry about us hurting them. We're not a violent organization. We don't believe in hurting other black people. We know there's room at the table for all of us. Different ideas allow creative expressions of how to solve the conditions in our community. Why not welcome the militant at the table so he can give you a different perspective? It's not a fight. It's a class struggle between us, the poor, and those at the top. Ras is just not even a nugget in the bucket. In fact, he's not even a grain of sand in this struggle. He's at the bottom of the totem pole. We're talking about the 1%, the rulers, the owners, those people that steal countries, that steal oil, that murder leaders around the world. That's who our enemies are. Ras Baraka, come to your common sense and realize we're not going anywhere. Everybody in this new African Black Panther Party on a local level live in this community. So where are we going to go? So this is a class struggle between poor and rich. And the question you must ask yourselves, brothers and sisters, what side of the equation you on? Because after we have suffered for so long at the hands of a racist, white supremacist state and its black flunkies like Malana Karinga and the children of Malana Karinga that is in power today, Ras Baraka is a child of Malana Karinga. He was never a revolutionary like Fred Hampton. He espoused the rhetoric of Malana Karinga, who was a fascist puppet of the state. He murdered, it was Malana Karinga that murdered Bunchy Carter, John Huggins. It was Malana Karinga that pointed guns at Panthers all around the country at the behest of the CIA and FBI. We got the documents. It's in COINTELPRO. We got it. Everybody see the documents. How you think a lot of these political prisoners are getting released? Because they got the COINTELPRO information showing that anybody that was a part of the cultural nationalist counter-revolutionary upsurge in the 60s and 70s were working on behalf of the enemy state. Oh no, you got the wrong one, Ras Baraka. I know history, baby. I studied this thing. From geography, from military science, guerrilla warfare, politics, psychology, economics, and most importantly, I studied you. I studied you for 4 years. I sat in this community and did political work, organizing the people. That's why you can't do nothing to me. Because I don't owe you anything. The Panthers don't owe you anything. You ain't give us $100,000. And we ain't asked for it. You know why? Because we've been surviving off the nickels and dimes of the people in the community. Our base area of social, cultural, and political power. That's how we survive. That's how revolutionaries all around the world survive. It's called self-reliance. So that's why you can't do nothing to me. You can only kill me. You can only kill my comrades. But one thing for certain, the eyes of the world is on Newark, New Jersey. The revolutionary movement is watching Newark, New Jersey. So go ahead, Ras, send your goons out. We're not running. Go ahead, Ras, take the Hassan Shakur Community Center from us. We're not running. Go ahead, Ras, call me a murderer to the journalists like you did in that secret call you had the other day. And I want to thank the journalists who had the humanity to release that transcript to me. And I have the transcript where Ras called me a murderer. He called me a killer. He said Shaka Zulu just got out of prison after committing murder. And I'm not proud to say I was only locked up, brothers and sisters, for a coat. Still in the no-face coat. But you see how he told that to the journalists? And the journalists went back and researched it. But thank you, journalists, for releasing that. And to the teachers in Newark, New Jersey, who was sent that email. I'm not going to call the guy out by name. Thank you for releasing that transcript to me, where this guy said that the new African Black Panther Party was going to come to the school and hurt the kids. He sent this email, a mass email out to teachers across Newark saying that we, the Panthers, were going to come to his school and hurt the kids. Please send help. Send everybody. Send all the police. We need you, Ras Baraka. He even sent the message out saying, thank the Lord that y'all came to the Weequay High School because the planters was coming to hurt the kids. This is what this dude said, and I have the transcript. Now, brothers and sisters, we've been operating in this city for Newark. We have not hurt anybody. We have not touched the hair of any resident in the city of Newark. And finally, what motivates us is not great hate. We're not crazy, as they said recently in the media. Go on Instagram, go on TikTok. You got individuals labeling the new African Black Panther Party as being crazy, mentally unstable. Think about that. They labeled Nat Turner crazy, didn't they? Because Nat Turner said, I will not surrender under the institution of slavery. I would rather stand up and fight back. Didn't they label Nat Turner crazy? They labeled Marcus Garvey crazy, didn't they? They labeled Huey P. Newton crazy. In fact, go back and see what they said about Sada Shakur in the 1970s. This crazy, lone-eyed woman running around murdering people, robbing banks, killing cops. That's what the FBI said about the revolutionaries. So now, Ras Baraka and his goons are calling us mentally unstable. They said I'm crazy. I'm crazy for feeding the people. I'm crazy for standing up for those who are about to be evicted. I'm crazy because I stand with prisoners who are coming home and they need wraparound services to address the trauma they just experienced. I'm crazy because I want to escort an elder to the her check cashing spot so she could cash her check safely and go back home. I'm crazy because I'm standing against a $300 million cop city that is being built right here in the city of Newark by Ras Baraka. You talk about Atlanta, the cop city being built in Atlanta is only $90 million. The cop city, brothers and sisters, being built in Atlanta is only $90 million. And we have lost great activists. You have many arrested under the RICO statute. You had Tortuguito lost his life defending the Waukeno Forest from the cop city in Atlanta. Only $90 million. But Ras Baraka is building a $300 million state-of-the-art military facility in the heart of the black community. And no one finds that problematic. He's about to leave office. But that $300 million cop city is still going to be there in Newark. Ras is leaving office within, give or take, a year. When is these activists in the city going to say, my child is going to go to that military facility in handcuffs? When are these activists in the city going to say that $300 million can go towards housing the homeless? It's only 2,000 people who are homeless in the streets. Instead of spending that $300 million, Ras Baraka, on building that military facility in the heart of the black community, spend it on housing. Take the homeless off the street. Build a better educational institution. Give poor people jobs so they can clean up these vacant lots. They can clean up their community. But you made a secret deal with the Police Benevolent Association, the PBA. And let me thank the Conrads for sending that information to us, because we didn't even know there was a cop city being built right here in Newark. So I want to thank the Conrads around the country for sending that. But look, this guy's spending $300 million. Brothers and sisters, y'all got to grasp what I'm saying here. On building a state-of-the-art military facility that will bring in troops from the IDF, the Israeli Defense Forces. The same troops and police that murder the Palestinians. They're going to be coming to Newark to get training. Newark to get training. This is a $300 million state-of-the-art counterterrorism facility that is being built in the city of Newark. And Ras signed off on that. So you're going to have all kind of despots being trained right here in the city of Newark, going back to Africa, having coups, going back to Latin America, having coups, going back to Puerto Rico, reinforcing colonialism there. So we're going to have people from all over the world, despots, dictators, murderers, coming to the city of Newark being trained at a state-of-the-art military facility that is being built by Ras Baraka, and none of you are concerned with that. It's being built right in the heart of the community, where our kids play at, where they go to the playground. Come on, brothers and sisters, we're not that insensitive that you can't see this is wrong. $300 million on a new prison, on a new military facility on Bergen Street in the heart of the black community, while there's no housing, while you about to be evicted. You about to be evicted. He can spend that $300 million right now on stabilizing rent control. Everybody are posting on their pages, we support Cop City in Atlanta. We support Cop City in Atlanta. But we got an emerging dictator with his own Cop City being built right here in the city of Newark. $300 million. And I'm going to keep saying that. All you so-called activists that are opposing us because we're asking, why are you allowing Ras Baraka to spend $300 million on a state-of-the-art military facility being built in the heart of the black community, and he's about to leave office in 6 to 8 months? But your son is going to go to that. Your son's going to go to that military facility being built in Newark in handcuffs. Your daughter is going to be raped by troops that come from out of state to come here for training. Your kids are going to be target practice for those troops that are being housed and stored on Bergen Street. And yet you're silent on that, activist? Come on, man. Talk about $300 million. But I'm going to leave this alone. So I want to thank my friends. I want to thank, like I said in the initial opening of this press conference, I want to thank the teachers. I want to thank the garbage truck workers. I want to thank the pastors. I want to thank the average everyday brother and sister for standing with the new African or Black Panther Party at a time when we are coming under grave, urgent threat. I could be murdered tonight. Africa could be murdered tomorrow. And they'd say they were selling drugs. Or they'd say we got into a fight because we're so aggressive and somebody shot us. They're already painting a narrative that we're crazy. Look what the transcripts say. I have it. By Ras Baraka. I have the transcript. He had a secret meeting, brothers, Saturday with academicians and journalists. And he called me a murderer. He said Shaka Zulu just got released from prison after doing 20 years, and he is a murderer. He was convicted of murder. He told this to the journalists and the academicians. So if he's going to lie like that, wouldn't he lie if somebody came by the Hassan Shakur Community Center and shot it up? like they did to the original Black Panther Party, and he'll say, oh, that's a gang activity. All along, they're motivated by the desire to please him. They want that $100 lottery check. They want to take pictures with Ras Baraka. He's the powerhouse in the city of Newark. He controls their very lives. He can make them comfortable or uncomfortable. He could give them the opportunity to ride around in a Jaguar car or in a hoopty. He could give them the opportunity to live in a skyrise house or in a Section 8 apartment. What do you think these poor people who are looking for a desperate way out going to choose? They don't have the political consciousness that you and I have. They're going to choose the best route for their kids. And Ras is manipulating the minds of the people in Newark to turn them against the new African Black Panther Party, who has served in this community for 4 years without hurting anybody. Name one person that we put our hands on. I'm going to wait. Outside of the police and counter-revolutionaries, name one person that we have harmed since we've been operating in this city for 4 years. Okay, nobody can come up with an answer because we have not harmed anybody. We are an above-ground legal organization motivated by the desire to bring our oppressed people into political life so they can enjoy the fruits of their labor rather than being alienated by a white supremacist system from our community. We want to establish some love, some agape. We want to walk out our door like how Thurman, one of the original Rainbow Coalition founders and a member of the Second Rainbow Coalition, told us. When you walk out your door, look left, look right. There's nothing but poverty, exploitation, hunger, desperation, violence between black and black. All of those are ingredients of something foul. And don't nobody want to address that? Well, the line has been drawn in the sand. After 500 years coming out of slavery, going into Jim Crow, going into integration, the Civil Rights Movement, the Black Power Movement. After all this time, brothers and sisters, if you can't see that this is a new day, that people all around the world are kicking the fork tongue out their country, people all around the world are telling the exploiter, your days are numbered. People all around the world are telling despots and dictators like Ras Baraka and Donald Trump, you cannot silence the voice of the people because we stand with the revolutionaries. Your days are numbered. But we're not here to pick a fight with anybody. We don't want to fight anybody. We just want to establish serve the people programs. We want to educate the people. We want to make them aware that they are a victim of a huge injustice. I don't care who is in power, whether it's New York, Philly, Jackson, Mississippi, Atlanta, where all these black civil rights babies are in office right now. And they are weaponizing the state against revolutionary babies that are still in the community. So yeah, you may have the sweets, Ras Baraka, but we have the streets. And that's all we're concerned with. All power to the people, brothers and sisters.